Welcome back. The fallout continues for Donald Trump. Just this hour, former Secretary of State, Republican Condoleezza Rice, saying enough. Donald Trump should not be president. He should withdraw. As a Republican, I hope to support someone who has the dignity and stature to run for the highest office in the greatest democracy on earth. End quote. John McCain also withdrawing his endorsement of Donald Trump late today, saying despite his past support, he can't vote for the Republican nominee after these comments about sexual assault. Some voters may feel the same way. 35,000 Republicans, of course, have already voted, according to the United States Elections Project, and people are voting all this week, making this a hard time to change anything. Rich Galen is a Republican strategist and former communications director for Newt Gingrich, and a professor of politics and MSNBC contributor. Victoria DeFrancesco joins me as well. Victoria, I want to start big picture. We've been going through the politics of this today, and we've been going through piece by piece what's happening. If we broaden out, one of the terms that has been raised here is rape culture. I wonder if we could start broadly about what that means and whether you think these comments do fit into that part of this critique that Americans are discussing all across the country.
Very much so. And Ari, as a professor at UT, we see this being a very relevant topic on our college campuses. This is what young women are talking about, and young men, day in and day out, about how do we deal with this greater rape culture. And I think one thing that I've been thinking about with the Donald Trump tapes is that you can say racist things, you can say things against people's religions if you're Muslim, but when you start to talk about sexual assault, that's when the line is drawn. Let's go back to Todd Akin in 2012 when he made those comments about rape and abortion. He was winning that race against Claire McCaskill for the Senate in Missouri, and he lost it. Here in Texas, there's a great example. In 1988, Ann Richards was running against Clayton Williams. He was ahead of her, doing really well. And then he made a comment that with rape, you should just sit back, relax, and enjoy it. And he lost, and Ann Richards was able to win. So I think it's interesting that we've seen this over the years, that when we get to sexual assault, it becomes very serious, and I think in today's day and age, when we're really talking about the issue of rape culture, it's even more so.
Rich, you look at John McCain's statement, which for viewers who've been watching, we just got into our newsroom last hour. It doesn't just say I'm withdrawing my support or go through the litany of things that John McCain and Donald Trump publicly disagree on. To Victoria's point, it says quite explicitly, Donald Trump's behavior this week and the disclosure of his comments about women and his boasts about sexual assault make it impossible to even offer conditional support. Rich, this seems to be John McCain's line as well.
Yes, I think that's right. And Victoria, as Victoria knows, the next time Ann Richards ran for governor, she ran against George W. Bush, and the Richards people tried to goad Bush into making a Clady Williams-type mistake. And what Casey Hunt was reporting earlier in the last segment was the Clinton campaign saying, stand back, let the Republicans, chew themselves up for a while. And I think that's a very smart strategy. But as far as Senator McCain, I was done with Trump when he said that he didn't think McCain was a hero, that he thinks people who didn't get captured were a hero. I was done with him then. So I've been off the Trump train for a long time.
We played this earlier, but because it's the #1 elected Republican in the country, I'm going to play Paul Ryan, who was supposed to appear with Trump today until he withdrew with the timing they were dealing with. Here's Paul Ryan on this today.
Let me just start off by saying there is a bit of an elephant in the room. And it is a troubling situation. I'm serious, it is. I put out a statement about this last night. I meant what I said, and it's still how I feel. But that is not what we are here to talk about today.
Victoria, what did you think of that?
Oh, he is in a tough spot. He's trying to balance his role as speaker, but also his brand, Ari, because he is a wholesome guy. He's a family guy. He's a Christian. He's Catholic, I believe. So when you see comments like those that Trump made, and aside from that, his larger persona, that's very difficult. So I think, I don't know what is going to happen, but I do think that we're going to see a very real distancing by Ryan. Whether or not it's an official retraction of the endorsement, I don't know, but he is going to walk back and get away from Trump as much as he possibly can.
Which is really what all candidates have to do, right? Is they've got to now, Republicans have to separate themselves, their campaign, from Donald Trump. Trump's going to lose. That's done. Now you've got to say, if I'm running for senator, congressman, state rep, how do I adjust for this and make sure I don't get swept under the rug with them?
And now, Rich, your old boss, of course, Newt Gingrich, isn't as convinced as you that Trump's going to lose.
Well, we have disagreed over the years. This is not new between the two of us. But you know, you don't need a better friend than Newt Gingrich. I mean, he's a loyal guy, and he'll do everything in his power to protect Trump's campaign. And I don't have any problem with Newt doing that. Everybody gets to make their own decision.
Sure, they make up their own mind. But, Rich, you
guy.
talk about some of the Republicans looking for space. That's true even of Mike Pence, who owes his current role to Donald Trump, saying, quote, as a husband and a father, I was offended by the words and actions described by Donald Trump in the 11-year-old video released yesterday. I do not condone his remarks and cannot defend them, Rich.
Yeah, well, I'm the only person in the solar system that actually thought Kane won that debate, because I don't think debates should be judged on who has the better hair. And right now, I think Mike Pence is going to have to figure out, he's got to get out of Indianapolis. He's going to have to face the press. Talk about somebody who's got to walk a tightrope. Mike Pence has got a very difficult road to hoe, because he's going to have to get out there and talk about whether or not Trump should get out, should not get out, whatever. But, you know, in Congress, there's something called revise and extend, that once you've spoken on the floor, your staff can go up to the recorder's office and fix grammatical errors and minor changes. And I suspect that after that debate that Mike Pence would like to revise and extend just about every answer he gave.
I hear you on that. Victoria, final word as we run out of time.
You know, women, you don't want to tick them off. We vote more than men. I think the gender gap is going to grow this election. So he took a bad situation and made it exponentially worse.
All right, Victoria DeFrancesco and Rich Galen, thank you both for joining our panel today.
Have a good evening.
Thanks, Ari.